record. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday night Team Vibe with me call. So I'm either your coach or your coach's coach, Francesca Braccio, and today we are going to be talking about social media because social media is always changing, and I'm even still learning new things. So just want to talk about like a few do's and don'ts and just some things that I have learned to really craft your story and really connect with people in your posts, because that's what is supposed to be happening here. Like, we don't want to be the salesy people, right? So we have to make sure our posts are reflecting that, and they're not just like buy from me now type of posts, because that's it. Everything's always changing. So like I said, Instagram is changing where I find more people watch, like for my people, more people watch my stories. But that doesn't mean that your actual posts aren't important, because that's still like your storefront. That's what people see when they come to your page. So that's where you do want to still kind of put the pretty stuff, like it's your storefront. You want to have the pretty pictures, and then they'll click on it, they'll read your comments, and remembering that people are only really going to read the first few sentences. So that's when you have to like catch their attention. And that's gonna like make them want to read further and say, oh, I connected this girl. Let me look at a few more of her posts. Oh, I really connected this girl. I'm gonna follow her. And then they're gonna watch your stories. Then they're really gonna get to know you, right? So first thing we'll just talk about is you wanna have your name, like your full name, on your page somewhere. So for me, like, my name is pretty rare, or at least I got started early enough that no one else has taken that name, Francesca.Braccio. I'm able to put my full name as my Instagram handle. Allison, for example, there are so many Allison Armstrongs, she can't. So she can't put her full name. She's tried so many different times with adding periods, dots, or underscores, everything. She can't get her full name. So what you can do instead is because this is what's searchable. What's searchable is your handle at the top, but also right there, that like highlighted like bold area, that's searchable too. So you can use that to put your full name if you can't use it in your actual handle. But you want something that's like searchable, right? Because you want people to be able to find you. They don't know who, like, I know Amanda just popped up on a message on my phone, but her Instagram handle used to be AP39, like numbers, AP and a bunch of numbers. Like, they don't know who that is. People aren't going to be able to easily find you. So you want to make sure that somewhere there, your full name is there, because your name, like, you are your brand, not Beachbody, not fitness. Like, you are your brand. So you want people to be able to easily find you. That's number one. Number two is, if you are able to put your full name on the top, like I have, you can utilize that highlighted space because it's searchable. So if people type in wellness, my name's gonna pop up because it's in my searchable, like, highlighted area there. If someone types in empowerment into the search bar, my name will pop up because it's there. So you do wanna just make yourself searchable. That's another tip there, to utilize all of your space. Because also in your bio and your caption, you only are allowed like 150 letters. So if I were to have all of that like in the bio, I wouldn't have room for anything else, right? So use that space too, like wellness and empowerment coach. I have it up at the top there so I don't have to take up space later. Just those kind of things will help it look more put together and all that good jazz. You want your profile picture to be a picture of you, because that's the first thing people will see, and like a picture of your face. I'm going to change mine again soon because my hair changes so often. So I change my profile pictures often too, just to keep it updated, and all that jazz. And then the next thing is, like, of course, making your pictures stand out. That's like, this is your storefront, right? So the behind the scenes stuff on the stories, like, I use the filters Instagram gives me, but like, I don't edit what I put on my stories very much. Like, I'm doing like this, you know, like the selfie mode, the videos are a little blurry, you know, the lighting isn't the greatest, and that's okay, because that's the behind the scenes stuff. That's what they're coming there for anyways. But this up front, that draws them in, that makes them go, whoa, like, this is bright, this is colorful, like, this is like catching for the eye, you know? So I like to have like a theme, a general theme color. This stuff is the fun stuff. It's not the super, super like business building important stuff, but it is good to still do. It's the fun stuff. So I like to have a general color scheme. Right now, mine is all blue because my hair is blue, and I'm realizing how much of all of my clothing is blue that I never knew, like I never noticed before. So just everything is turning out like blue, turquoise, and I'm okay with it. I also use a filter. Um, so I use the app Lightroom. It's free, and it looks like this right there, LR Lightroom. And you can play with your own, like you can create your own filter, but I'm not super creative that way. So I just went onto Etsy and I bought some. Like I think I paid $12 for 4 filters. And I do recommend, like, it might not look exactly like what it looks like on Etsy's. I know mine didn't when I first got them. So I was happy that I did buy a few because I only like 1 out of the 4. So I'm like $12 for 4, and I got one good one. Like it's not the end of the world. But yeah, and what I do, it just makes things so simple. I don't have to waste time editing my photos. I just click on the filter and it goes the same on all the photos, but like you might have to edit just a little bit, like changing the lighting or the color. Like mine is it's called bright. That's what the filter is called. So it makes things really, really bright and sometimes a little too bright. So I just have to up the color a little bit and turn down the light, like just a smidge, and I'm done. So, and what that also does too is it, like all of my photos kind of have the same flow to it, like the same kind of lighting with it, just minus a few colors or whatever difference. So just all that kind of stuff can keep things looking professional, keep it together, and be eye-catching to the eye, because eye-catching to the eye, you know, that's what we want to attract people in, right? Highlights are important too, because that's, again, like when people are going to come to your page, they're going to look at that stuff before they decide if they're going to follow you or not. So having the things that like relate to your business. So I have, my first one is like my transformation, which I've been posting things, saving things there like since January. And it's also for me too, so I can look back and see how my body has transformed over like the whole year. I'm going to keep going. Then I have my favorite supplements, and that's where I share about Shape. Like I save my Shakeology stuff there, my Energize, my Hydrate, my Beach Bars, like any Beachbody supplements I take, I save there because that's promoting my business. Tribe Vibes, so I have like our entire team stuff. So like with Amanda's team, like Fin Funky, like that's where I post all that kind of stuff. Like Summit stuff goes there. Boot Camp Babes, so that's where I post any check-ins I do with our boot camp ladies, any transformations or anything that I post on my story, I save it there. My team shout out, so like anytime you guys hit a rank or something, I shout it out there so people can see that there is stuff like what your business is without having to really search for it if they're right in front of them for you, or right in front of them for them. Meal prep ideas, so just sharing value, because that's also what we're here for too. Like things have changed now in the sense that before it was a lot easier for people to just buy things on the internet, but now there is a lot of people selling different things. So a lot of people, they want to try it before they buy it. They want free value. You got to really create that trust and establish yourself as a knowledgeable source and someone that can actually help them. So wherever I can add in little things of free value, like meal prep ideas, because that's something people struggle with a lot. And I have like the most laziest, like lazy girl meal prep ever. So just like basic, doesn't take too long. It's not super hard. And a lot of people can like benefit from that for sure. So I share all that stuff in there. Coach Life. So that's where I shared that's where I share the fun stuff. Like when we went on the cruise and all that stuff, I share that there. My meal plan. So I did an unboxing of the Ultimate Portion Fix when I got it, and I saved all those videos to there. So I just talked about the whole meal plan. Something fun like shuffling practice, just to show a little bit of my personality, which I haven't added to that in a while. And then more info on like coaching. So like what I do, when people click on that, it's kind of like talking through like what I would share in an info group. And then I have like my story. So if people click on that, they'll see like my story about like coaching and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's just like your storefront. You want to have it there. You can use Linktree to make links on. You can just go to Google Forms, or I think Wix is another free site. Like I'm all about getting things done for free if it's possible. So I just use Google Forms. I do have a website. You don't have to. When I first got started, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get a website and I'm going to blog and I'm going to write recipes. And then I was like, you don't even follow recipes. Like, how are you going to create recipes? You hate writing. Why are you like, how are you going to, you don't like sitting down and writing. Like, what are you going to do? Make a blog? No. And it sat there for years and I paid for it and it was a waste of money. But, I realized I figured out a way to make it free. So I do still have my website and I pretty much just use it for my forms and as like a general landing page, but like you don't have to have a website for this. Like you don't have to. But yeah, so you can just go on Google Forms. You can look at mine. You can look at like Amanda's, Allison, like anyone's, Melanie Mitro, like anyone's forms. And I would recommend like looking at them and then always put it in your own words. Like I never completely copy and paste. I use as inspiration and then I put it in my own words. And then so I have one for coaching, I have one for boot camps, and then I have like just the link if they want to get like Clean Week. So I have that titled as like a 7-day trial of my virtual boot camp. Nobody's signed up for it yet, but it's there. It's only $30 and it's kind of like it's a trial. So I worded it that way. If people go for it, they go for it. Not a big deal. But I've been listening, I think it was from Chalene Johnson said like, it's a good idea to have some sort of freebie on there or a lower priced option for people. So it's there if they want it. Free sneak peek into coaching and then more info on my next boot camp. Just the 3 there, super easy to choose from. And yeah, and then when it comes to your bio, like we've done a lot of work on the bio. It's ever changing. Like I just changed mine again, like it changes so often. But basically what you want is like four things that represent you, 4 to 5 things that represent you, things that you love, things that like stand out about you, because those are things that you're going to talk about on your page pretty much. Like when people come to my page, they're going to see that I love food, that I love to travel, I love my cat, and I love to live life. Like that is perfectly me. And I didn't put fitness on there, but like it really doesn't, it's implied, like it's fine. And then I just have like what you do as a coach and like who you're here to help and how do you want to help them? So I help women boost confidence and prioritize their health goals. That's what I do. That's what I want to do for women that I work with. And then I have an arrow pointing down to my link saying fitness plan / become a coach on my team. Bam. So just simple like that. And then again, yeah, the wellness and empowerment coach is up at the top, because I would not have room to write all of that. Trust me, it took me a lot of time to figure out all of that with only like all the characters. So and then if you want it to go in this way, like the kind of staggered like that or whatever, I'm pretty sure Instagram lets you skip down now, but if not, you can just write it in your notes section and copy and paste it instead of having like that never ending line. Like you can, so it can be like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point down like that. So yeah, so that's like setting everything up. Now when it comes to like, okay, what do I post? You know, like that's what I'm really struggling with. I'm struggling to find my words. I'm struggling to think like, what do I talk about? What I would recommend thinking is, instead of thinking, what do I talk about today? Think about, what does my ideal person need to hear today? Like, and that's why we talk about like finding your avatar, like your person that you're speaking to, writing down what are the things that she struggles with. And that's what you're going to speak about. And usually the person that you are talking about, that you're looking to help, is just, it's basically you before you found all of this. So you know how to speak to you. You know how to help you because you've done it. You know, like you've come out on the other side for the most part. So when you're making your post, you're speaking to the woman on the other side that is struggling, that is looking for the solution that you have, that needs help, and that needs to hear that message today. So that can help you feel more inspired and excited about posting, instead of just like, oh, what do I post today? You know, like I gotta say something. Like think about, okay, this girl, we'll call her, I don't know, I think I want to call her Jessica. I don't like that name, but that's what we're going to call her today. We're going to call her Jessica. And Jessica has been really struggling. Like she's coming off the holiday weekend, you know, I'm thinking Memorial Day weekend. She's coming off the holiday weekend and she was doing so good before. And then all of a sudden, like the holiday happened, she was with friends, she was with family, and she just got caught up eating, drinking, went a little bit too overboard, lacking sleep, slept in, didn't get her workout in, felt like crap, and just like ate crap food. And now she's stuck and she can't find her way out of it. And she doesn't know how to get her motivation back. She can't find her energy back. So if I'm thinking about that girl who's coming onto Instagram to look for motivation, I'm going to write a post speaking to her, because that's stuff that I have gone through. Oh my goodness, that is my life. Like I used to be so good Monday to Friday, and then as soon as the weekend rolled around, I would blow it. I would binge eat. I'd go out drinking. I would go out eating after drinking. Like I would just get like the empty munchies, as I called it, and I would go downtown and have like the downtown Happy Meal, and I'd get shawarma, and I'd get poutine, and I'd get a McFlurry, and I was happy. But I felt, yeah, that's true story right there, you guys. That is true story. That was a downtown Happy Meal. Like that's what I called it. So like and that's what I'm gonna write in my post, and I'm gonna say, this is how it used to feel, and then I found this, and now it's made me feel like this. So it's always coming back to the feel, felt, found. That's how you create a really good post. Feel, felt, found. So how did you used to feel? That's what you're starting the post with, because that's like the eye-catching, like the shock factor. That's what a lot of people are going to look at, and that's going to make them go, whoa, that's me. I heard this on a podcast that Angie Lee did, and I've heard it before, but sometimes you just hear something again, and it reminds you, and you're like, okay, like it just sticks that time. So basically what she said is she writes out her entire post, like in her notes section, or maybe on Instagram, whatever, and then she looks through it for like the really juicy part. So like that part of saying like all of the things that you struggled with, like you're really saying that the pain point, basically. Once she finds that, she cuts it out and she puts that at the top. And then she continues with the rest of the story. Because that's what people are gonna see, like that, like you wanna start with the pain point, pretty much. Because that's what they're gonna look at and go, oh, ooh, this is me. I gotta read the rest of this. What does the rest of this say? And it's gonna make them wanna keep scrolling to find the solution. Like, what was the solution that you came to? If you felt this way, you know how she feels. So maybe you found your way out, and maybe you can show her the way out as well. So start with the pain point, like the big thing that like is that how you, like the pain point. Start with the pain point. That's what draws people in, and then continue with the conversation or with the post, and follow the feel, felt, found method. So how did you used to feel before all of this? What did you what did you find, and how did you feel after you found it? And you want to end it like, you want to be the victor here. You want to paint yourself as the victor, because if you're starting this post and they're seeing themselves in the post, and you're ending on a high note and letting them know that if you did it, they can do it too, they're seeing themselves as the victor as well. And maybe it creates that little bit of hope that she can do it, so can I. And this is the other thing that I learned from the Angie Lee podcast there. And this is something to create more, like promote getting more engagement on your post. So once you do that in the beginning, like, you know, the pain point, ask a question of some way for people to relate to it. So I did this today when I said Wednesdays were one of my longest days at work. I used to actually cheer about it being hump day because the week was almost over. What a way to live, eh? Raise your hand if you count down all week till you get to the weekend. So right there, I'm asking a question and people are answering it in their head and going, yup, that's me. Like so many people, I guarantee you, are going, yeah, that's me. I had someone comment with like three hands up, because she feels that. So that's kind of like what I took away from the call, from the, what's it called, the podcast, was exactly that. And that's how I'm gonna like structure my stories. Like, and not every single post has to be a story type of post. Some posts can just be like, if you are someone who makes pretty food, or you get creative with your recipes, share that. Share food on your page. I don't. Do you want to know what I ate for dinner today? Like Mike and I just ate like legit lettuce, like just lettuce cups, but it was not pretty looking at all. Like it was romaine lettuce, and then we took like a little bit of guac that he made, and then like I ripped up pieces of chicken, and it was just, I wrapped it up and freaking stuffed my face with it. And then we had like pieces of bread, because he made something today. So he had like odds and ends, like half moon size pieces of bread, and we took that and we put peanut butter on it, and that was our freaking dinner today. Okay, so that stuff, like, that's like story worthy, the behind the scenes stuff, but that's not like on your page, like pretty type worthy stuff. Like, that's the difference. Is yeah, exactly. And that's real life, you know? So yeah, that stuff you share on your story. I should have shared it, but I didn't. Whatever. So that's like the behind the scenes, like sharing stuff on your page. It's the eye-catching stuff. Like when I make pretty smoothie bowls, I share photos of those because those are beautiful. And that actually gives me an idea to start doing that now that we're getting into summer. And it's just things that you can create, you can give value on, and you can create engagement. So when I make a smoothie bowl post, I'll post a picture of it. I'll share like what I put in it, and then I'll ask a question of like, do you like smoothie bowls too? Or what's your favorite color? Or like just some, just anything like that would, if you could have, like, I'll make this, I just got an idea for this. I saw it on like one of, have you ever seen those like beautiful freaking like mermaid colored smoothie bowls that people make? So basically someone posted that and just asked a question like, what would your mermaid color smoothie bowl be? Like just something like that, and it doesn't have to be like huge, like life altering questions, and every post doesn't have to be like a comment below for info, but you do want to try, like, this is something I've really been working on, is trying to ask questions that like people actually care to answer. It doesn't have to be super deep and profound. It can just be fun. So like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a post of my smoothie bowl, and I'm going to share the recipe of it, of what I put in it, how I made it. I'll let people know they can go watch the video on my stories. Maybe I'll even make an IG live, who knows? And then I'll just ask the question of, if you can make your dream smoothie bowl, what would the ingredients be? Or something like that, just something to get people chatting, to make it fun, because if all of your posts are constantly sales, people aren't going to want to look at it. They aren't going to want to like it. They aren't going to want to comment on it, because they're like, she's just selling shit again, like, what's the point of me even following her if every post is just a sales post? People are going to get bored of that. They'll get annoyed by that. So you do want to find a healthy balance with it. But so that's like having a story post, making connection posts, because you do still have to share your story. That is important. And then just the general value giving post, whatever you're good at. I use food because that's an easy thing. One thing that I do, that I've done it a couple times, that gets like crazy engagement, when I do like I do random like DIY stuff. So when I made, like, because I make my own workout shirts a lot, people go crazy for that. So I posted about it, and I told people to save the page, and like, so they can come back to it later and make it. I got like 20 comments. I had like 12 saves, and that's what you want too, like, because that looks good on your engagement when people are commenting and when people are clicking save on your post. So if you do something like that, like when I make that smoothie bowl recipe, I'll let people know, save this post so you can come back to it later. Or I've seen people do it with workout posts, when they share our workouts and they say, save this post so you can do it later. Something like that. So just creating a community, because that's where social media is going. Like, they are promoting people's pages who are social, who have engagement and people commenting, and they're really creating a community. And they're like, the ones who aren't, like, you're not going to have the higher chance of visibility, and that can really mess with you. So just think about sharing for sure, giving value, asking questions, just trying to create connection. And another thing that really stuck with me, this is from Danielle Natoni, like, when you make a post, read it and go, so what? Like what if someone on the other side looks at it and goes, so what? Like, what are they trying to get out of that? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, is it just like a bragging post? Like, sometimes that can come off when you're like trying to do a coach post, and it's just like, okay, cool, good for you, bud. Like, so what, But if you connect with them in a way that it's like, this can happen for you too, or like having that call to action of giving them something to do. So if you try and balance it out, you can have something different to post every day. Like, so Monday could be just like a pure motivation. This is the easiest way to do it. Monday motivation. Monday could just be like about, you're going to post something motivational, and it could be like something that maybe you did a push-up on your toes for the first time. That's motivational, and you can speak to that and speak out to people and let them know that, like, it will happen for you too. It doesn't have to be just like a quote motivation. It can be, but sometimes you can like share a piece of something, like something motivational that happened to you. Tuesday, keep it simple. I pretty much always make Tuesdays about transformations, whether it's a fitness transformation where I share a physical one myself, or like the other day I shared just like, because I had a picture of me like being bloated and wasted, and then a picture of me being like healthy and happy. And I did like a life transformation. I've done a life transformation before where it had me in my Tim Hortons uniform, and then I had me like in Vancouver on a mountain, like on a by the water or something, and I just did like a life and energy transformation. Chloe does face-to-face transformations all the time, so it doesn't always have to be a physical transformation. But keep it simple. Tuesday transformation, that's easy to remember. Wednesday could be like a wellness Wednesday, and you don't have to like call it that, but it could be in your mind like a trigger. So that could be the day that you share a recipe, that you share some sort of like wellness tip that you're learning about. Like if you're doing different things like to advance your health, share that. Other people want to know about that too. Caitlin, I would highly recommend like share about your bath, like your bath salts. Share about that on your fitness page too, because it can go hand in hand. Like you really never know. And it's something to talk about. It's something that you have knowledge in about the chakras. Like you can share that on that page for sure too, because that's who you are. Thursdays could be like Throwback Thursday. And again, if you didn't get a transformation on Tuesday, you can use this as a transformation because it's like then and now. You could do like Thankful Thursday, and you can make it something like a mindset thing, or just like, what are you grateful for today? Like just ask the question, make it something to just create that engagement. What are you thankful for today? This is what I'm thankful for. Friday can be like a Flex Friday. So that's when you can make like a workout video post and something like that. Or it can be a face-to-face Friday, so you have all these opportunities to share different parts of your journey if you really want to. Saturday can be like, just, I don't know, like you can even make it just like a day to like encourage people to get outside, do something different. Like maybe if you have Saturdays off all the time, that's the day like you push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, because then that will motivate other people to do it too. So maybe you go out for a walk and you challenge people on your page to go out for a walk today. Maybe you go and take like a workout class, or you do something that's scary and like you challenge people to go do that too. Like maybe you go try a new restaurant. Like it could be anything, it could just be something like that. Sundays could be like, there you go, Sneaker Saturday. Like when you're talking about shoes, is that what you're thinking? Like showing, what are you thinking about that? Oh, I knew you. Sneaker Saturday, what do you mean by that? Yeah, there you go. See, exactly. Like you can make it whatever you want. Or shoes. I was like talking about shoes. Cool, sure. That's awesome. But then like Sunday could just be like, it's everyone's rest day usually. So maybe that could be the day, like if you're trying to get more of a self-care Sunday, like self-care routine, you can make it self-care Sunday. Like that's something that I have been wanting to do forever, is to do more self-care. I have like face masks I want to put on, and like I want to start doing more of that. So if that's a journey I'm going to take other people on that journey with me, because how many people want to make more time for themselves, to care for themselves, but don't? Like guilty, and if I'm doing it, other people are doing it too. So if you're starting a new journey, just taking other people, we got all the fur babies on here all the time. But if you're starting something new, just take other people on your journey with you and encourage them to do something different too, right? So I hope that was helpful. We have about 4 minutes. If you guys have any questions about anything, definitely unmute yourself. Good. Does anybody have anything they want to offer? Catherine, I'd love to know.
I'm just typing everything out on my phone.
Oh, what's that, sorry?
I was just saying, I'm just typing everything out on my phone, because those are really good ideas that like you notice other people doing, but you don't really know that that's what they're doing. Because it's not like they're not calling it that. It's just kind of like a subtle, thing that happens. But I really like those ideas. Those are really good.
Good. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. Like being organized in this, especially since all of us have like other jobs that we go to, right? For the most part, being a mom, like that's another job too, like that really takes a lot of your attention. So you do have to plan ahead for this stuff. And it makes things so much easier that way, that you already know what you're going to post about. You can even pre-write your posts. Like, I've been thinking about doing this recently because I'm even forgetting to post sometimes. Like, I'm human too. Oh, there's another puppy. But Plann, Plann, is a phone app where you can like set up, like it'll show you your Instagram feed, and you can organize where you're going to put your next photo, so you can see how it's going to look on your page. You can type out the post there and just copy and paste it when you're ready to actually post on Instagram. So you can do it ahead of time instead of like, oh crap, I got to post now. Which is what I do sometimes. I've been trying to write mine like earlier in the day to post later in the day, but as easy as you can and time like effective that you can make it as possible.
Yeah, one thing, so on Amanda's call last night, she talked a lot. It was like super useful. And, you know, she was so like, it was so simple. She's like, you know, the few things that you have listed in your bio, she's like, in the 9 picture blocks that you have on Instagram, she's like, you should see all of them. Mm-hmm. Like, you literally have like 10 to 15 seconds to grab someone's attention. So she's like, keep it simple with the color scheme. If you can get one, that's great. You know, simple with your bio, and then just follow that through. And, you know, she really just broke it down. It was really great. And like another thing too, like, so she talked about, like you just said, the Plann app. I've been using the Preview app, which same thing, works great. Like, and like you can move everything around and it works really great. And another thing I found out about, like, one thing that was driving me crazy is that I couldn't figure out how to make a post stay the same. Like when you copy and paste it, like the lines get all screwed up, and that would drive me insane.
Yeah.
You just just Google like an IG line caption thing, and like you can copy and paste it, and then it holds all your lines and everything even.
Oh.
So it works awesome.
Yeah, because what I usually do is I've been using like bullets.
Yeah, even this way you don't even have to use the bullets anymore.
Nice.
So, life-changing.
Life-changing. Okay, well, we're about to get kicked off, but this is a really great call. If you guys have any other questions about social media, feel free to always ask. We have our group chat going, or the team group. And thanks for jumping on. I will see you guys next week. Bye. Photo. Good. All right. Talk to you guys later. See you.